here. Oh, this is another interesting one. So the guy who was the chief prosecutor in this federal district, the Nashville-based U.S. Attorney's Office, the same day this indictment came down against our good friend Kilmar Armando Abrego Garcia. And by the way, it came down a couple weeks ago. It came down on May 21st. It was just announced yesterday. But the grand jury returned their indictment, their true bill indictment of Kilmar Armando Abrego Garcia on May 21st. That same day, the chief U.S. attorney for that district resigned. Give this kind of little mysterious, vague kind of statement here. He wrote, and his name is Ben Schrader, former chief criminal division U.S. Attorney's Office for the Middle District of Tennessee, which is where Abrego was indicted and where he'll be prosecuted. Ben Schrader, the same day that indictment was returned by the grand jury, he writes, earlier today, after nearly 15 years as an assistant United States attorney, I resigned as chief of the criminal division of the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Middle District of Tennessee. It's been an incredible privilege to serve as a prosecutor with the Department of Justice, where the only job description I've ever known is to do the right thing in the right way for the right reasons. I wish all my colleagues well, and so forth and so on. Was it just a coincidence that this guy resigned the same day the indictment against Kilmar Armando Abrego Garcia was returned? Well, did you know that in all 50 states, self-defense law, not gun law, but self-defense law, uses a simple 5-element test to see if your use of defensive force was legally justified? And that same test applies no matter what state you're in or what tool you use to defend yourself. If you're missing even one of those required elements, however, you've made yourself an easy conviction for an aggressive prosecutor. My name is Attorney Andrew Branca, and I've worked more than 30 years as a self-defense attorney. Every state has seemingly endless, complex pages of laws regarding self-defense, so complex that many top criminal defense attorneys rely on my expert analysis to help win self-defense cases for their clients. If the legal code is that complex for lawyers, how can a citizen gun owner expect to know or even follow the law, especially when a life or death situation has triggered a massive adrenaline-fueled mandate to make that fight or flight decision right now? It seems daunting. Yet I created a simple but powerful framework that has allowed me to serve the legal community and countless American gun owners to simplify this legal complexity into just 5 elements of self-defense law. And you can learn my 5-element legal algorithm I use to consult on and win with the top criminal defense attorneys all over the country to protect law-abiding gun-owning citizens from making innocent legal missteps that land them in prison. Now, with a simple read or listen, you can install my 5-point legal framework so it acts as a sort of muscle memory defense to protect you from losing your rights when you choose to defend innocent human life. Click below to get the latest edition of my book, The Law of Self-Defense Principles, for free. I ask only that you help cover the shipping and handling cost to get the book to you. The media. Multiple media outlets, ABC, New York Times, The Guardian, are reporting that Ben Schrader quit over concern that the Abrego Garcia indictment was politically motivated. I wonder if he quit when Trump was being prosecuted, when the January 6th protesters were being prosecuted. Was he okay with those political prosecutions, or was he blind to those prosecutions being political because, well, those were his political enemies? When his political friends are being prosecuted, like apparently Kilmar Armando Abrego Garcia, then he takes it so personally that he feels compelled to resign. By the way, if he were going to resign, why didn't he resign when the grand jury was impaneled against Kilmar Armando Abrego Garcia? He would have known that. He's the chief of the criminal division. I mean, grand jury proceedings are generally confidential, of course. But he would have known. That would have been, in his view, the offense the government was committing, putting Abrego Garcia in front of a grand jury. But grand jury proceedings take weeks. And when the grand jury then returns an indictment, that's not the fault of the government didn't make that call. The grand jury made that call. So he's resigning over a call made by American citizens in this case, in the grand jury. ABC is also reporting his resignation. Head of the criminal division for U.S. Attorney's Office. Good riddance to another defiant operative at the Department of Justice. And I agree with this take. This is just another indication of the kind of swamp, deep state, institutional, progressive woke DEI cancer that's taken over our institutions, that's gotten metastasized into the bones of our institutions. This guy's obviously a progressive woke DEI, a part chick of the left in this very powerful office. And he feels so strongly about being on the progressive woke DEI left that he has to resign his job when a grand jury returns an indictment for human trafficking against an already adjudicated MS-13 member, against someone for whom there is good evidence that he's human trafficking. He was caught on the highway driving a van full of people who don't speak English, and he didn't know any of their names. Have you ever had that experience? I mean, unless you're a hired chauffeur, I guess. You're just a random person driving from Texas, the Texas border with Mexico, to Maryland with a van full of people who can't speak English, and you don't know any of their names, and nobody has identification papers. What is that other than human trafficking? Can there be a reasonable doubt that's human trafficking? Then we have the sworn allegations under oath made by his wife of spousal abuse. Now apparently a predilection for pornography of people who are not yet adults. This is the guy, this Kilmar Armando Abrego Garcia, that this dude, Ben Schrader, felt his indictment was sufficient cause for him to resign a 15-year position. Is this rational? Is this the kind of person we actually want in this job? Chief Criminal Division, U.S. Attorney's Office for an entire federal district? I would suggest not. I would suggest not. Thanks for watching this highlight segment of our full-length Law of Self-Defense live stream. If you enjoyed this content, make sure to give us a like and subscribe for more expert analysis on politics, law, and how to be hard to convict. And to watch the full-length episode of this show, just click right here. Stay safe.